Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. Sitting next to Jim Lee and Deb Hartley from Utah Prudential Real Estate. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys about what's going on in the market right now, because things are not the same as they were even a month or two ago, are they?
That's correct. Ever changing.
Yeah, I'll say. So I suppose kind of the biggest thing to talk about is that you know, everybody's kind of out there now looking for a deal. They're thinking, hey, there's foreclosures, because they've heard that in the news. But the truth of it is, an awful lot of that has been absorbed already. People have already, there were people who were waiting on that. The Donald Trump, the new Donald Trumps of the world, who are looking forward to that opportunity, have pretty much taken advantage already.
Things have changed a lot since the last month, but especially the last year. Because looking back, in fact, in comparison with 2010, where our distress sales, which are short sales and foreclosures, were 33% of our market, a third of our market. It was
wow.
It was a big hunk of our market. That was huge.
So we've been saying for a long time, for years, couple years, you know, nobody rings the bell at the bottom. Well, the bell has been rung. And we only know that it's been rung is because we've switched. We're no longer just strictly a buyer's market now. We're more of a balanced market.
Right. I mean, there's places where this is different. I mean, we're talking strictly about Utah, because it's different from city to, or well, even, not only just state to state, but city to city.
Correct.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
We're hearing multiple offers in California. San Francisco is seeing multiple offers on their properties. You know, people are lining up to buy a property, and they're going for more. Typically, Utah follows California between 12 and 18 months.
Right. In my family, some of them live in Florida, and now they're in a different world down there. It's still 33% down there, and they've got so many homes down there that literally they don't know what to do with them. In fact, the only thing that's really making money there is rentals.
Right.
But in the neighborhood I live in, it's a transitional neighborhood. It's homes in that you know, $200,000 to $300,000 price range, and boy, are they going fast. I cannot believe how quickly. In fact, the house two homes down from us, which was worth about $330, it sold in literally it sold in the first weekend.
Wow.
The very first open house, and it had multiple offers that day.
That's not surprising. We're hearing lots of that going on in different segments of the market. The reality is interest rates are at an all-time low. We will probably never see that again.
Right.
Well, probably in Jim and my life.
Yeah.
But we will never see interest rates this low, prices this low. This is a perfect storm. Buyers recognize it, and they're not sitting on the fence anymore. So I would say most of those really great screaming deals are gone.
Yeah, but you better hurry, or even the ones that
Joe,
aren't screaming are going to be gone.
You mentioned a price range that's the most popular. It's kind of emanating from the bottom up, from the lower price range. It's coming up in those homes, as you suggested, in your neighborhood, around $300,000. Very popular in our market right here, up to about $600,000 or $700,000. We're a lack of inventory. There's just a flurry of activity going on with people getting into the market in that range.
And there are some very, very large, very, very expensive homes that it seems very balanced in that market. There are some that are distressed, and there are some that are really, really selling well, all in that high range. What accounts for that? Because I think that was odd to me that there could be such a balance there.
Well, I think at some level, the people in that price point, people in that category, are almost recession-proof. They're waiting for the right time to buy. They're tired of sitting on the fence. We're seeing a lot of legacy purchases. People see their families growing up. They don't want to miss that opportunity to spend it together. So with prices as low as they are, money as cheap as it is to buy from a bank,
Right.
It's a perfect storm. They're buying. They want to make sure they spend time with their family.
Well, and we've reached the very bottom end of, at least as far as I can tell, the bottom end of where we're ever going to be in interest rates. The Fed met, I think it was yesterday, and the only thing that there was a consideration of, and I guess it didn't happen, was possibly quantitative easing rather, and that they expect that will happen in September. But as far as interest rates, they're not going any lower than they are. We're at the very bottom.
It's hard to even visualize
imagine
how that could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's they're giving the money away.
Right.
So
and that's not going to
go get
last.
it.
I mean, we're going to turn around here pretty soon.
right.
Add to the element, add to the equation. Okay, lenders want to lend. but to people who qualify.
Right.
So all this no doc loans and, we'll give you a loan just because we'd love to give you a loan, that stuff's over.
Right.
I mean, you do have to qualify, the property has to qualify. So even if somebody's paying cash, they're still getting an appraisal to make sure they're buying at market value and not above.
But what that really means is that people that were well prepared going into this
Right.
are in a very good situation that they look, there's no reason not to buy right now. There is no risk almost.
There
on their side.
is no risk. Prices are prices are at the bottom. The market has stabilized. Buyers and sellers recognize it. We're not blowing things out. There's like I said, the screaming deals, they're all pretty much gone.
The thing that I've always found, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but one of the leading economic indicators in this country is RV sales, which, for a long time, the last 3 years, were down. And when we work with them as advertisers, we get a real good hand of what's happening with them locally, which I think is, that kind of gives you those telltale signs of what's about to happen. And, we went to a couple of last RV events, and they're like, oh, they're starting to sell. We're selling RVs.
I just bought one.
Yeah. and we knew, see, that tells you how disposable income is starting to come back. And we used to tell people as well that boats were at a price where if you bought them, there was a guaranteed return of double your money in 3 years. And people didn't believe.
Right.
And the advertisers were telling me, no, this is true. You've got to do this. We've got so much inventory. And it was the same with RVs. And something, we haven't seen it quite yet with RVs, but with boats, oh my gosh, there were people who bought boats 3 years ago that are selling them for 3 or 4 times what they paid for them.
Absolutely.
And this is really realistically with a longer term what we're looking at homes at this point. There is no risk, and if you wait, you don't get that opportunity.
And everybody who's now coming to the market that say, I'll only buy if it's a screaming deal. You should have been here 6 months ago.
Yeah, but it really still is, though, in that essence of if you've got a little more time to turn it around. If you're trying to get a screaming deal on them, buy it and sell it in 4 months.
That's not going to happen.
That's gone.
That's
But
gone.
buying and selling it in 10 years and expecting it to double is
Well, I don't know
reasonable.
double. I don't have a crystal
We'll see what
ball.
happens.
And
Well, I
I-
mean, that's over. If you look at, I'm just
Real
using
estate
the
over the
trend.
long term.
Real estate over the years, typically on
Right.
about a 10-year scale, you
Right.
can almost expect a doubling.
And I think,
would think now.
with inventory depleting, we're going to see just maybe single-digit appreciation in the next 2 to 3 years. So I
Okay.
think it'll be, we're going to bubble up from the bottom.
Right.
From the bottom of the market, we're going to see gentle appreciation. It's not going to spike, but it is now the time.
Yeah, you're 10, 15 years down the road, you're in pretty good shape.
That's
all the
right.
way.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure, but to use your analogy, people that aren't taking advantage of the interest rates and the low prices now are literally missing the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
for sure.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And they'll come back later and say, "Oh, wow. Well, I'm still getting in low, but either I'm not getting as low a price or I'm not even getting as good a choice of
Right.
properties."
Right.
And there's 2 things that kind of affect that, right? That the prices have stabilized across the board, so that accounts for that. For what you just said there, that you right now is the time. That is going to at some point going to change. We're gonna. I guess the first telltale sign we'll see interest rates go up a little bit.
Right.
And the day that happens, there's going to be a real run.
We're going
I'm
to be
guessing.
sitting on this couch one day and say, remember when we visited you back in 2012, in August of 2012, and we said it was a really great market? It's totally, we'll be sitting here saying that.
Yeah.
And it's still a buyer's market, but perhaps not as dramatically a buyer's market as it was before. As you're saying, buyers are still looking for deals out there, but that's changing, as Deb's indicating. That
Well,
really
part of this is because the home starts not being tremendously high.
Sure.
And that
Sure.
will change too. Once we start running out of inventory, they'll start building.
Right.
And when we start building, the economy gets hotter, this thing starts going faster, that bubbling becomes more of a boil.
Right.
And obviously, it's not economy driven because the economy is not, jobs aren't that much better, economy is not much better. I think the consumer just has confidence and they're tired of sitting around waiting for something to happen.
And they have money in savings finally,
Yes.
which is a big part of this.
Yeah.
They're
Sure.
finally realizing, hey, I've got some money in savings. I could put this into a home, and I still poo-poo anybody that says a home is not a great investment.
Yeah.
I believe
Wow.
that it is.
Sure.
As do we.
Yeah, and especially when you can get a return on an investment in a few years,
Yeah.
you
can't
shouldn't
get
be
it
in a
from the
rush
bank.
right
Yeah.
now.
That's right.
Because you're not going to get it anywhere else.
Exactly.
That's right. You're not going to get it from the
Exactly.
bank.
Well, that's awesome.
Right.
Where do people come to find you guys to take advantage of the opportunity?
Well, our website's up on the screen. You can certainly
All right,
reach
let's
us on our
pop that
website.
up, yeah.
Or you can always reach us at 435-647-8009.
All right.
Direct to our office.
Well, Jim, Deb, as always,
Okay.
I'm thrilled
Thanks,
to have
Joe.
you on the show.
Good to
Thank
chat
you
with
so
you,
much.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm excited about these opportunities.
Yeah.
We'll figure out one for me right away.
All right.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see you next month and tell you how we've even changed again.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to happen. So
All right.
thanks again for being on
Okay.
the show. We'll be
You bet.
back after
Yeah.
these
Thanks, Joe.
messages.